Hello and welcome. My name is Angie Holden and I'm the blogger behind the Country Chic Cottage. I get asked all the time about how to start an Etsy store. And if you have been wondering about that question, this video is your answer. So I'm going to go through how to start an Etsy store from scratch and give you some tips and tricks for getting started for ultimate success. So the first thing you do need to consider is Etsy the right platform for your handmade business? Now, I do consider Etsy as being a great starting point for handmade sellers. I still think it's a really great place to start. Now, the fees are pretty high, especially in comparison with maybe some other platforms. However, just the power of the marketing, as far as Etsy being a place that drives traffic to themselves and spends money to get people into and knowing about Etsy, and then once they search in Etsy, hopefully they find your shop. So just the fact that they're doing things like the marketing for you, the collection and remittance of sales tax, different things like that they do for you, which makes it great for beginners. Once you build your customer base and know a little bit more about online selling, you might then switch to another platform. But Etsy to me is still a great place to start. So before you even start, you do need to decide what you are going to sell. So what can you sell on Etsy? You can sell handmade goods, you can sell digital products, you can sell craft supplies, you can even sell vintage goods. You do need to research on Etsy what their rules are as far as what you can sell, just in case the item that you want to sell is a restricted item. Now those are some pretty broad categories. Now I do recommend that you do some research, decide what you want to sell, possibly niche down into a more specific area of what you are going to sell. That often helps a store succeed. Niching down can keep your costs low as far as inventory. It can help you become an expert and perfect that niche down item so that you have the best product out there and are able to market it. So niching down has a lot of benefits, and I tend to see a lot of success with stores that do narrow down the number of products they're selling, the type of products they're selling. So look at niching down before you even start your Etsy shop. Then you'll just head to Etsy.com and start by creating an account. So you'll click register and go ahead and set an account up. Once you have your account set up, you can then click sell on Etsy to start your shop. So you will need to pick a few things like your shop language, the country, your currency. Then you will need to name your shop. So this is going to be an important step. Now you can change this later, but I recommend really putting some thought in here. So first of all, it's going to have to be something that's available. So there are so many shops on Etsy and it is going to have to be an available shop name. You do want it to be something that's memorable and not too limiting. So if you name your store, Tumblers by Angie, and then a year from now you decide you don't want to sell tumblers, you would probably have to start a whole new store or try to go through a name change. So if you make it not too limiting, memorable, and something that's available. So do some brainstorming, pause this video, stop this video, brainstorm, and then go in and check for an available name. Now in this area, you'll note that you can't have any special characters, no spaces, or accented letters. Then you will set up the business end of this. So you will set up how you get paid, your tax information, and then you will need to tell them a little bit about yourself as far as your address and other information. And then that's really it. Your shop is basically set up. Now, you will want to set up some policies during this process. So the policies include your shipping policies, your return policies, processing time. It is very important to set these policies up. And for each of these, you might want to think through, like for shipping. Maybe you don't want to guarantee next day shipping because maybe, something comes up and you're not able to make, if you need to make that product, or if you just need to hand package that product, can you do it the next day? So maybe you want to think through those policies, make sure that they're reasonable for you as well as for your customer and something that will entice them. So be sure to do all those policies, but think through them before you actually publish them. Now it's just a matter of creating your shop's first listing. So this is basically the most exciting part. So you will want to have whatever product you're going to sell, and you'll want photos of that product. Now, I don't want to just glaze over the photos portion. The photos of your product are going to be very important on a platform like Etsy. You want something that sticks out when people search. The name needs to stand out, the photos need to stand out, the listing itself needs to stand out from your competition. So right here, you need to work on your photography. You need to work on the photos of your listing and make sure they are high quality. this may be a time when you need to, take some online classes for photography or something to get this right. Then you'll need to add your title and tags, as well as a description for your item. Now, these are very important to include all of the information, as well as SEO keywords that people might be searching for. Now, if you do a good job, in my opinion, of describing the item within the title as well as the description, the SEO kind of takes care of itself. But the description needs to be very robust. So we need to make sure we're including some type of hook to draw them in, the benefits of the product. So not just the features of the product, but how do those features benefit your customer? The details about the product, especially like the size, the weight, the number of ounces, those type of things. Any type of story that you have to go along with the product is really great to include in the description. People on Etsy are looking to buy from an individual, so any bits and pieces of the story of the item and how you create it are great here. How they're gonna need to care for the item, and then some type of call to action as far as like, be sure to buy this, or if you take custom orders, it's a great place to put that in the description. So think about all of those things. A great way to think about this is if you had this item at a craft fair, what are all of the questions that the people coming up to the booth would ask you about the product? Because the people coming to your Etsy store have those same questions, but they can't ask those of you. And keep in mind that the people coming to your Etsy store can't touch, feel, pick up the product. So you need to attempt in your description to describe the touch, the feel, the weight of the product, as much of that information as you can in the description to give them the complete picture. And then as you're doing that, try to vary up. So if I was describing a soy candle, I might describe it as a soy candle, but in another paragraph, say handmade candle. I might say all natural candle in another place if it is all natural. So vary up the way you reference the product within that description, and that sort of takes care of those SEO keywords. So if you're doing a good job on the title and the description, I feel like the SEO is going to take care of itself. And then of course you are going to need to add a price. So I want to encourage you to factor in all of your costs within your price. So the materials you use to make it, the materials you're going to use to package it, your time, the shipping cost, and be sure to pay yourself. Be sure that you're going to make a profit on this item. And then above all, be sure that you add the Etsy fees that you are going to pay. Be sure you're aware of those and include those in the price of your product, because you don't want to lose money when you sell something on Etsy. So let's talk Etsy fees. So Etsy has various fees. There are listing fees, transaction fees, payment processing fees. It can be a little overwhelming when you look at the fee schedule as far as like, okay, for this product, what am I going to pay again? That's a lot of jargon and words and percentages. So I have a free tool for you. I will link to this free Etsy fee calculator in the description below this video. So what you would do is to plug in, let's say I want to charge $10 for my item, and then maybe I charge $5 to ship it. And then maybe it costs me $8 to make it. So for this item, I would get $15 for the price and the shipping. And it breaks out all of the fees I'm gonna have to pay on Etsy and how much I'll receive. And then the Etsy fee calculator, as long as you plug in your item costs, will actually tell you how much you will make per sale. So this should help you decide if your pricing is correct, if you need to raise it, perhaps you want to lower the pricing. I would encourage you to leave some room to put things on sale. People love a sale, people love a coupon. Be sure you include a little room in your pricing for that. But hopefully this Etsy fee calculator helps you make sure that you put all those Etsy fees within your price. I did want to mention, so the listing is going to be your most important thing to get seen on Etsy. So I did want to mention one more tool. It is not free, but it is from the same company as the Etsy fee calculator, and it is an Etsy keyword research tool. So you can start with a free trial and then pay later on if you'd like it. If you are serious about Etsy, this may be something that you want to look into. It's going to give you trends. It is going to give you scores for the keywords. It's going to give you ideas for tags that listings that actually sell use, so you can use those. So it's a great way to fill up your title and your tags easily while keeping in mind the Etsy SEO rules. So if you're struggling, I highly recommend a tool. Now, I'm going to link to the tool that I showed in the description below this video. I do want to mention there are other tools out there. So you might try this one and not like it and try another one and really love it. So there are a lot of different tools on the market, and you might experiment with with a few of them before deciding on the one that's right for you. A very common question is, how many listings do I need to have before I actually, start promoting my shop, start letting people know that I have a shop? And I don't think there's any right or wrong answer here. I personally do think that an Etsy store that has multiple listings looks a little bit more like it's more well established, something that I would want to purchase from. But are there Etsy stores out there that just have 1 or 2 listings that are doing great? I would say yes. So it probably depends on what you sell, how many variations you need. Perhaps there is just like the one single listing that you need. It's a very unique item, very niche, something that people are going to want. One listing might be great. Otherwise, like 5 to 10 listings might look a little bit better to you on the front end of the Etsy shop before you actually start to promote it. I did just want to mention that here because I think that's a question a lot of people have. However, it really is dependent on you, and you can always just try. So maybe you have 3 listings and you're like, I just really want to send this out to my email list. Absolutely, just go ahead and do it. Experiment a little bit. You might find that you need a few more listings and have more success as far as like Etsy search, but sending it out to your email list is never a bad idea. So on that note, let's talk about making your first sale, because the first sale is definitely very exciting when you start your Etsy shop. So the very first thing I would do is share it with any existing audience that you might have. So maybe you have an email list already, maybe you are already on Instagram or Facebook and have a following there. Share your Etsy shop with those people. If you have a way to share your Etsy shop with past customers, that's another great idea. So sharing with those that already maybe love you and like your products is a great first step to getting that first sale. If you're looking for those additional sales from people that are just on Etsy searching, I would highly recommend working on your product listings and your shop overall itself. So work on your product listings, work on your photography, work on the SEO for each of your listings, the title, the description, the tags, work on each of those, experiment a bit, try to get in those Etsy searches. And then look at your shop overall. So a branded shop, something with a top banner with your name in it. Make your shop look as professional as possible. Now within the Etsy platform, you will be limited, of course, some because it's their platform, it's not your own website. However, you can make it as custom as possible and make it branded to you. Make it a professional looking shop. And I do believe that makes a difference as far as conversions for people that just land on your shop through Etsy search or Google search or something like that. So let's end this with common beginner mistakes. That way you don't make those. So the first and most common for any handmade seller is underpricing themselves. And you might have already made this mistake. However, if you are just starting to sell handmade and you want to start on Etsy, I wanted to mention that. So be sure that you think about every single cost that goes into that product. People commonly don't think about each material. So materials, say perhaps you are doing sublimation and you have to print on sublimation paper with sublimation ink to make your product. Be sure that you're including the cost of your ink, your paper, each of those pieces, your heat tape, each individual piece, no matter if it is in the final product or not, you had to use the paper and the ink to get the final product. So be sure you go through each step of your process and calculate all of your costs that go into making the product. And then be sure, like I said before, that you're including your time as well as some profit for your business, because people often don't include their time sometimes, but even if they're including their time, they don't actually add some profit onto there. So basically they're just paying themselves to work, but not actually making any money and establishing that profitable business. So undercharging, number one mistake. And I'm going to mention photography again here in the mistakes. Bad photos are a very common mistake for first-time sellers. So get those good photos. Look at other listings for similar items that you sell. Look at their photography. If you're like, oh my gosh, that's so good, your photos probably need some work. Photography is something that you have to work on over time, but keep working on it. Keep improving. Your photos will get better and your listings will as well. Third mistake is just ignoring SEO. Now I mentioned that SEO kind of takes care of itself if you do a really good description, but you can't just ignore it. You can't just ignore what people are searching for, because if you're making a product and no one is searching for it, no one's going to find it. So you need to make sure that you include the keywords that people are searching for. And I mentioned one tool here. If you're not ready for a paid tool, you might be able to find a free tool or just really do your online research with some free resources. And fourth and final mistake is not having clear policies. So I mentioned several different policies, including a shipping policy. Be very clear about those policies. that makes sure that you are communicating well with your customer and they don't have a bad experience. So what you want for your shop is for people to find it, number one. Number two, people to purchase. And number three, people to leave a good review. Those good reviews are Etsy gold. So every time someone purchases, you want to make sure they come back to leave that good review. They are not going to do that if your policies are not clear. If they were expecting the product a week ago, they're probably not going to leave a glowing review, even if they loved the product. So be sure those policies are clear and you're very upfront in your item description as well, as far as what the product is, how to care for it, and anything they need to know. All right, so that covers it. You have started your Etsy shop. Now, if you're ready to really ramp up your handmade selling in a couple months, so in October, the 1st of October, we have Crafting for Profit Camp. And that is where you're going to learn tons of information about starting and growing your handmade business. So I am going to also, in the description below this video, include a link for a waitlist for Crafting for Profit Camp. So sign up, join us this year, and learn even more about successfully selling your handmade goods. So if you start your Etsy shop today, hopefully you will have enough experience in a couple months to really work on that shop and get it excellent during camp so you can really grow that handmade business. So now, if you have any questions about anything we've covered, drop down in the comment section, ask away. If you like this video and it helped you, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, head on over to my YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button. And if during this video, when I mentioned that you could send your shop to your email list and you were like, I don't have one, I have a video on that, and that is the next video you need to watch because that's the next thing you need to do for your handmade business. So thank y'all so much for joining me, and stay tuned right here on YouTube for another creative, crafty video. Thanks y'all. Bye-bye.